What's going on, everybody out there in wherever you are? I hope everyone out there is having a good day. I am really excited today to share with you a little bit about how I personally help stay on top of the Amazon advertising game. I don't know if you know this, but we go live every single day at 3 o'clock Central this time. If you want to get that in your time zone, go to adbadger.com/live. But basically, we optimize over 10 million keywords a week. That's something like 500 million a year. We manage about 5 million orders a year. And me personally, I've been involved in the world of PPC for almost a decade. We're getting up there. I'm really curious. Every time I say that, and I say that every day, I'm always curious to hear how long you have been in the world of digital marketing PPC too. So I'm always curious if you are watching this live or you're watching the replay. Go ahead and let me know how long you've been involved in the world of PPC. Me personally, I remember Amazon advertising before they had keywords. It did exist. I remember Amazon advertising when you could send traffic back to your Shopify site with an Amazon listing. I've been around the block. We go live every single day to talk about Amazon advertising, the latest, the greatest, the tips, what's working now to share with you. If you want to get it in your time zone, add it to your Google Calendar, go to adbadger.com/live. So let's jump in here today. I wanted to talk with you. Staying on top of Amazon marketing news is incredibly important. I had myself scheduled to go ahead and read the check-in to the Amazon advertising official blog. And I figured it would be a really good topic to actually do this together live here so that I can read it, share with you my live reaction. I actually have not read it yet. I don't know what the latest post is, but we will find out together and I will share that information with you and we'll sort of interpret it together. If you have questions as you're going through it, you can let me know there too. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here in a second. 3, 2, 1, sharing my screen. There it is. I have a new desktop background every hour. So here we go. Juanjo, newbie, 1 year ago. Hey, I think you're an advanced newbie, if that makes you feel any better. So we've got this all locked and ready to go. Cool. So you see me and you see the screen. So this is the Amazon advertising blog. And if you don't know how to get here, I'm going to drop it into the comments there. So you can read this. Or you can just tune into our lives because we're going to be reading it and interpreting it later. So you can see here that, May 4th, May 8th, May 4th. So they've been releasing what looks like 2 blog posts a week so far on average. That's what they're pacing at, because it looks like we've got 4 posts in about the second week of May here. We've also got this featured post up there, letter to our customers, interview with WPP's CEO Mark Reed, new courses and certifications, translations available and sponsored brands, what's new in sponsored ads, March 2020. So we're going to do this. We're going to sort of review the recent posts from this week for the last 2 weeks. And let's start jumping in here. So I'll make this nice and big so all of you can follow along. So this was a letter to their customers. This was published on March 31st. So I actually do think we've covered this already. Over the last few months, we've faced a truly unprecedented global situation. During this time, we remain focused on our customers, employees, partners. Sure. We have talked about their day one blog. All this sounds pretty fine so far. There's an Amazon News Twitter account, which I feel like maybe I've looked at before. Okay, this looks like a general thing for consumers to learn more. I don't know, there's some good general Amazon news shared here. So this is actually pretty good. I'll probably begin subscribing. You see this is the Ad Badger Twitter, and the Ad Badger Twitter is following it. So it looks like time for Congress to establish a federal price gouging law. I was just looking up a product the other day on Amazon that I wanted to buy, and normally it's $130, and it was $400. Absolutely crazy. It was a device to hook up my DSLR, so I can put a DSLR on this live stream. So some really crazy things going on. COVID-19 blog. So this actually does look like a good source to sort of stay on the pulse of some of these just general Amazon news. I don't know if they're going to be as specific. This looks more consumer facing. This doesn't look like it'll be specific to companies that are actively selling and want to grow on Amazon, but that's still good. They did talk about the day one blog, which we have touched on as well, where they're sharing a lot of posts. So right there, letter to our customers, not much in there to really dig too far deep into it. Let's go ahead and talk about, this was released 2 weeks ago on May 1st, and the title is What's New with Sponsored Ads and Store, March 2020. So here we go. Let's make this a little bit bigger so everyone can see. Okay. We've introduced new features in the advertising console to help you engage customers more easily and manage your campaigns. Here's a roundup of updates we've rolled out in March 2020. Okay, we've probably covered these already on the podcast. Sponsored brands, creative enhancements. The sponsored brands desktop creative has increased in size and features in new format. The brand logo and headline now appear above a row of 3 cards, each card displaying one product with a larger, more prominent image. In our testing, we found that on average, campaigns that used taller sponsored brand ads on desktop saw an increase of more than 20% in click-through rate. Yes, if you're not using sponsored brand ads, you absolutely should be. Take the steps to become eligible to run sponsored brand ads. It's definitely worth it. It's just really good real estate. Visit our sponsored brands creative guidelines to get more info there. So then they go into some guidelines about what that logo should look like. But in general, so what they're talking about here is that the brand logo and headline now appear above a row of 3 cards. So let's see if we can trigger this really quickly. So let's go ahead and search. For some reason, I've really been on a kick to see if we can trigger some. There it is. So we actually just triggered a new version right here, right now, and an old version like 2 seconds ago. So I don't know if you noticed that, but this one has the new version like Amazon just described. It's got the logo and the sort of the headline that you write, because don't forget these used to be called headline search ads. So it's got that on top of the products. So it's actually really interesting. What you see here is because what they've done, they've made it look more like a normal Amazon listing, which anytime you're able to do that, you generally are going to be converting a bit better. So that is sort of what happened here. So that it didn't look like a normal sponsored product, and now it does look more like a normal sponsored product. So you could see here that, if I click on these, again, the company does get to decide where this traffic goes, and that'll load up in a second. But yeah, so I clicked on, the blue one, I got the blue. I clicked on the other one, I got the turquoise. I clicked on the other one, and I got the white cup. So all that works totally great, totally good. That all makes sense. So this is an update that you should be familiar with. Now, if you notice, if I click back when I misspelled coffee mug, I got the old version. So this is important to know that anytime Amazon does something like this, it is often rolled out stepwise, rolled out piecewise, meaning it doesn't apply to everyone all at once. And another interesting thing, I don't know if you know this too, but the ads team on the Amazon side of things is doing a lot of tests all the time. So what that means is they are like tweaking, testing, introducing betas, and anytime you don't have access to the beta, it's generally because it's just part of a rollout or they're testing it. So that's that. So sponsored brand ads, it's kind of cool to just let Amazon know like they're doing some testing, and in testing that they find that they modify the screen, they modify the search result page to make it easier for you to convert. So that's really good. Google does the same thing. Facebook does the same thing. Anytime you notice a change up of the Google search result page or the Amazon page or Facebook, Instagram, whatever, it's usually ad driven, meaning they've modified the screen in such a way so that they now know that if they format things differently, their ads will get a better click-through rate. And that's awesome, which means they make more money from advertising. And that's exactly what they're trying to do here. So that all makes sense. So that's great. Sponsored display, targeting enhancements, product targeting, and sponsored display is now available for sellers in the US. Yes, with product targeting, you can promote product discovery with ads that reach audiences who are actively browsing similar or complementary products and categories on Amazon. You can also access more campaign controls and reporting metrics to make your performance advertising strategy work more efficiently. Product targeting ads may also appear on product detail pages next to customer reviews, under the featured offer, or on the shopping results page. A similar version of sponsored displays product targeting is available for vendors worldwide. So let's go ahead and see if we can trigger that really quickly. One of these new product display. Well, the product display isn't new. What is new is the way that you can utilize product display. So if I search coffee mug one more time, this time I'm going to spice it up a little bit. I already searched that. Let's do coffee mugs for men. Let's just see what happens there. So when I make that search, let's see if we can find one, There we go. Okay, check this product out. There we go. Interesting company name. Chick Vita Viking stainless steel coffee mug. Viking skull beer mugs, gifts for men, Father's Day gifts. Good stuff. And let's actually go down and try to find some sponsored brand ads, and we've got them. Didn't have to look too hard. I'm sorry, sponsored display. So we've got things like this. So you can see, this is probably not a direct product category, a product targeting, because this product is very particular. I don't know if Maxwell House would have gone and targeted this specific product, but it is related. And and my take on sponsored display targeting enhancements is anytime there's a new targeting, you take advantage of it, you capitalize on it, and you always get a first mover advantage. So pay attention to all of these new changes. If you have been running sponsored display and you have not taken some of your best converting, and the question is always like, well, who do I target? What do I target? This is a new thing. It's not necessarily that new. Just take the ads, just take the products that you're already targeting from your sponsored products, that have converted well in sponsored products, take them, start there, drop them into your sponsored display. And that is the way to sort of take advantage of these two new. The first one is just sort of an update on something that they changed, not really much to do. The second one is that, yes, you should indeed take advantage of that early mover advantage. So start the process of getting those product display ads, sponsored display ads, zeroed in on that ASIN level targeting. And just quickly scanning through these other posts, new courses and certifications available. Not too relevant for those of us who aren't interested in getting that certification. We here at Ad Badger do take this once a year. We go through and we take these certifications to be sure that just it's useful. It's like cool to hang out. You get your little you get your little thing at the end. It's pretty straightforward. If you've taken like a Google Ads test or anything like that, you're familiar with this. This is fairly straightforward. We found this to be relatively easy. We actually had someone that went through the Ad Badger Academy and then took it in like their first week of like being exposed to Amazon advertising, and they passed it. So translation is now available for sponsored brands. I think we've covered this previously and sort of how to handle this. Not going to go too far in depth here, but basically at the end of sponsored brand ads, you get this option to go ahead and edit your translations or, to automatically help users who are searching with that language see your sponsored brands a little bit easier. Should you do it? Yeah. And that basically sums it up. I do check this periodically. I did look at this post. I did not find it. I actually looked at this one before we got on the live. I did not find this particularly insightful for our purposes of really optimizing PPC campaigns. So, like this one, what advice would you give to advertisers? And the advice was rather generic. It didn't really apply to Amazon PPC. So this is a blog that I read at least on a weekly, maybe a bi-weekly basis, just to check in to see if there's been any official updates on Amazon advertising. We're in contact with our Amazon team that corresponds with different agencies and software providers. And we typically get updates from them relatively quickly. But still, to fill in any gaps, I always want to read the official Amazon advertising blog to be sure that we're not missing anything. Well, that is it for today. We go live every day talking about Amazon advertising. Come equipped, ask a question, hang out, and I'll see you next time here on our live, where we go live every time at this every day, same time, and I'll see you next time.